Hi, I'm Abby. I'm from Cuyahoga Falls. I moved here to Ohio with my husband Adam and our 3-year-old son Benny just over a year ago. We've been attending Western Reserve for a year, and this is my story. So I grew up in a Christian home. I am the 4th of 5 siblings. I have 3 brothers and a sister. We grew up going to church every week, going to all the activities that were put on. My dad was an elder, so very heavily involved in church. So from a very early age, I was being taught about God and who he is and what he did for me. I made the decision to give my life to Christ when I was 13 years old. My family had gone to a Christian conference and I found myself in a youth evening service without any of my siblings for the first time. I didn't feel the pressure to act a certain way or do anything in particular. I was just able to sort of really focus on what I was hearing, and it was during one of those services that I made the decision to give my life to Christ. Unfortunately, my walk with God was not a smooth one. During my teen years, I, at the age of around 16, started suffering very badly with depression, and that was an ongoing problem for a number of years. And while I knew about God and the things he had done, my faith wasn't real enough that it was something that I could hold on to during those difficult times. I sort of had the foundations that had been laid growing up in church, but my faith hadn't really been tested to the point where I knew it was real. At 18, I went away to university and sort of did what any kid away from home for the first time would do, and just sort of lived my life, did what I wanted to do, just decided to see what it was all about. Ended up more depressed, feeling more lost, and just still knowing God was real, but just feeling that he must be so far away from me. I graduated university and I moved back home, so was going to church again with my family. But still, knowing things to be true isn't necessarily the same as being able to rely on those things and sort of use them to help you get through the tough times. When I was 21, I ended up at an evening service at church where there was a guest speaker. I hadn't even particularly wanted to go, but I took my mum. And there was a guest speaker who had come all the way from Kalamazoo in Michigan. It was a lady named Jean Watson who travelled and shared her testimony, shared her story, and also sang and played the violin. And I'll never forget that Sunday night. God just got a hold of me, and I was left in no doubt that he was real and that he loved me. And from that night on, I recommitted my life to Christ. Again, it wasn't a walk in the park from that point onwards. I still was struggling very badly with depression. But the difference then was I was starting to grow roots and a deeper understanding of who God was, but also of who I am in God through what he did for me. So where depression had robbed me of my sense of self-worth and who I was and the hope of a future, I was coming to a deeper understanding of who God says I am and why he did what he did for me. and that I am enough. From that point onwards, I can say I've been walking with Christ and just getting to know him better and better. So when I look back on this stage of my life, a scripture that comes to mind is Proverbs 22:6, which says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And while I definitely did depart from that path, it was a path I knew, and I was able to return to it when I recommitted my life to Christ. And that path was laid through the countless Sundays in Sunday school, the countless prayers of uncles and aunties in church and of my parents, just sowing into me in those early years and just really laying that foundation of who God is. And that's what Adam and I want for our son, and it's what he is being taught in Kids Church here at Western Reserve. Just having that foundation from a young age means that it can be something that you hold on to or that you can return to if needs be.